testimony for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Administrator, thank you very much. I'm sure this has been grueling to go through 3 hours of this. First question I have, if I could maybe get through a couple quick questions with yes or no's to the extent that we can, was have you ruled out regulating coal ash as a hazardous substance under Subtitle C of RCRA?
We have not made a final rule, so that would have to be a no.
Thank you. The second, with this a notice of intent from Headwaters Resources in filing an action against, and I guess some environmental groups are also doing the reverse. They're also taking an action against the EPA on some of the hazardous waste, perhaps. Can you give us, for the record, a commitment that you'll take this into consideration when, if you were to settle, that you will consider the fact that Headwaters has also put in a concern and that they'll be included in the settlement?
I'm not familiar with the letter, but this is
Okay,
on coal ash.
It was filed in your office on, it was addressed to you on February the 9th.
Okay.
And it was their notice that they want equal protection under this. So are you saying you will?
In our regulatory actions, in our rulemaking, we will look at all information presented to us. I think public comment period is closed. We now have a notice of data availability out, and
Okay.
I am aware that environmental groups are suing to try to get us to
The third
make
question
rules.
is the EPA is apparently in a funding with Vanderbilt University and perhaps others this new LEAF environmental assessment framework program that they're doing down there. I can't find the amount in there that what we're doing. It's from what I understand, that may be an alternative to the T-clips. So if you're looking at that, I'd like to understand how much money you're putting into that.
We will get that for you,
Okay.
sir. I don't have.
And then the last and more importantly has been a question. I don't know whether you're familiar with this report that was presented, indoor air quality, indoor air pollution in California in 2005. Very authoritative document in which it points out much of the problems that we're dealing with air quality as indoors, since we're spending approximately 90% of our time indoors. So when all the folks are talking about asthma attacks, premature deaths, heart attacks, whatever, I think very well could be traced back to their conditions inside, since they're spending 90% of their time indoors. But I don't see anything, I can't find in your budget a priority for where the EPA could be stepping up and really dealing with children. Again, in schools with 56 million children are in classrooms every day, and I don't see a prioritization in your budget for what you're spending in education and mitigation and labeling and things for products and others, so you can help. If California is right, they're saying in their own report it's costing the state of California $45 billion a year. Now, I don't know how the folks on the other side of the aisle keep arguing about all these. I don't know how they can differentiate between this getting sick from indoors versus outdoors. But it's a convenient thing to challenge us on. But I'm curious, what can we do on that? And especially given the fact that you're spending $28 million last year giving grants to foreign governments, instead of using that to help educate our states in ways to mitigate our indoor air quality problems. Can you help explain that some to us?
I'm happy to. The President's budget increases our children and sensitive populations budget by $3 million. It is not true that we gave $28 million to foreign governments in grants last year, and we have a program that works with school districts, many of them underfunded, to try to help them address issues of public health for children. Many of them are not mandatory, so these are voluntary programs. Education is important, as well as things like siting guidelines. We were asked to put forth school siting guidelines and other technical assistance to help for things from radon to asbestos. So that's in addition to partnering with states who are often working as well. And I just have to remind us all that, yes, indoor air quality is very important, but outdoor air quality impacts indoor air quality quite significantly as well. And so we look at air as a whole, not simply one versus the other.
Gentleman's time is expired. Ms. Jackson, one thing that Mr. McKinley brought up and a number of people brought up is the